Hello and good morning. My name is Jay Ashborne, and we're going to be covering some ladder today. I had some interesting things pop up yesterday. I was up to 850 and then fell back down to 700. I had a bad loss streak. Ended up climbing back. Here's what leaderboard looks like. So we're about 400 points off. Not that I'm aiming for leaderboard, I'm just aiming for 3K. We're trying to keep up with their pace, but I'm definitely not playing as much as them. Here's what we're running. The big change here is that you will notice the little sisters, as I'm going to call them. These guys, amazing. Powerhouse. Definitely the buff they needed. Incredibly good. I've seen them in so many lists, and I was inquired to start running them myself. They are very good. They fit the 1-drop slot. They're easy to slide into turns where you have one energy left over. Very good. Very strong. But yeah, let's hop into a few games and see how things turn out. The cut I made was I took out my Zephyrims. They were just a little bit heavy. It seems like a lot of decks these days are lower to the ground. Anyway, let's get moving. Alright, so here we are. This is where I started yesterday, about 700, just about 400 off ladder, same place we're off now. This is the list I was running. This is before I made my changes. You'll notice the double Retributor. I had already cut a Seraphim. I noticed we needed to be a little bit lower to the ground, showing off the Celestian and Retributor buffs here. But yeah, I noticed that we were running into a lot of aggro, and I considered that we would just drop the curve a little bit. So we cut Seraphim, added a Retributor, and as I kept playing more and more games, like I said, I was up to 850 yesterday, and we fell back down to 700. And after we kept playing more and more games, I noticed that we just needed to drop the curve a little bit. Gonna ship that Miraculous Feat. Definitely don't need that. Okay. Got a stellar hand here. We are going second, but this is a nasty hand. This is the kind of curve you're looking for. When you're playing Sisters, you're wanting that prayer, that preacher on 2. Let's see what we opt for here. Definitely going with the prayer. Boosts us up to 1 faith automatically. We've got a prayer incoming, which will put us to 2. He only has his Warlord on board, so there is very little chance he's going to break this. Indeed, that gives us 4 faith, or 3 faith right off the bat, for our Sacred Rose on 4, or the Rhino, whatever we opt for. Throw down the Preacher, get a prayer going. A little bit of rearranging here in the hand. Alright. Looks like he's going to throw the stun and break this. But it doesn't matter, we're already at 3. Throw out this Sacred Rose, get these chicks praying. It's a really incredible start for us. The fact that he's not even remotely contesting board does not look good for our opponent. I would say he is in a questionable position. And this is kind of what my argument is against, I would say, everybody looks at the meta report as if it's law, and I highly disagree with it, because this game is an instance for example. While the majority of players are running decks that they want to play and decks that they like, the difference between top 50 and the decks that they run to acquire the most points and the decks between like the average Legend player are vastly different. In my personal opinion, I don't feel this player's deck has been constructed extremely well, or maybe he perhaps had a pretty bad draw or is lacking some play experience, but his extremely high curve, where he didn't play a troop till 4, just really feels like his curve should be lower to the ground. And I kind of use this being the example that I think the lists vary so much that saying that this hero or this warlord we've seen has like a lower win rate doesn't mean that the unit is a lower win rate. It just means that the pilots that are playing it vastly outnumber the pilots that are good. I think the difference, like at high level, where all the players are good, because obviously they're top of the ladder, all the players are good at there. I think the difference between these like two variables is so vast. Like if we looked at the top 50% win rates with all their warlords and what warlords are winning the most, I think it would be vastly different than looking at all of Legend and saying that, you know, for example, Asmodai has the highest win rate among the meta report for Dark Angels. I don't think that's necessarily because Asmodai is the best Dark Angels warlord. I think that's because the vast majority of players that play Dark Angels only have access to Asmodai because that's the first one you start with. It goes on for like several things. It's more people are playing that because that's what they have access to. I believe extremely competitive players would put out very different win rates than the vast majority of Legend. And in other games that are 40k related, like Horus Heresy, for example, they actually break the meta reports down into what high Terra, or the top 50 players, are running, and what low Terra, the rest of Legend, is running. And there's an incredible difference. I mean, there's some similarities, yes, but the spikes, the highs and the lows, are so vastly more pronounced than what you would generally see in games like this. So it's hard for me to quantify the metadata that we got from the meta report as law. When it says that, you know, I just don't agree that, like, 51% seems so low. I think at highs, I'm comparing this to other games I've played that are competitive, such as StarCraft and Dota 2 and Hearthstone. I think the meta reports, the high end of the win rates will probably be closer to 60%, maybe 55%, and the low ends, the losing decks, like post-patch Lucius, for example, will be lower to like 48%, 47%. The highs and the lows will be so much vastly different, I think. I just really think that if you're a player that's based on getting data from reputable sources, I would be looking at what top 50 players are running, not what the vast majority of Legend is running. Because the vast majority of Legend, you know, isn't good. They're really not. I hate to break it to you. Legend is not hard to acquire in this game. Being Legend doesn't mean that you're an insanely good player. It just means you put in a lot of time. I think High Legend, like, at end of season, last season, I think 6,500 was the highest amount of skulls earned. I think High Legend, like top 50 or above 3k skulls at end of season, would be a ton. And that would be a quantifiable amount compared to the average Legend player, which might have 500 Legend points. You know, like, just the amount of experience and the difference in player base is so vast, I don't even think it's remotely. This is a post-patch Lucius we're playing against. Our hand is okay. I do make an incredible play mistake this game, I am pretty sure. 99% sure. And I think my big mistake here was letting this troop live. I think this troop and giving him this extra trigger really set us back this game. I noticed it as soon as I didn't clear it. I thought it was the troop that gained cruelty when you touched it, but or when your warlord took damage or whatever. A unit took damage. But I thought it was the cruelty unit, and I did not realize it was the one that popped elixirs. I really should have cleared this. I notice it now and go for the clear, but I think that additional trigger really set us back. I felt behind all game. I don't know. It did not feel good to me. I cannot remember if we won or lose this game, but it felt, I did feel behind all game. So let's see what occurs here. I'm guessing Seraphim comes out to trade. We're going to pray. Looks about right.
Our fire will rain from the skies.
Taking some time on his thought. So here is one trigger, two triggers. And this feels bad. Because I don't believe I find a way to clear this unit for the rest of the game. It was not very pleasing. We did draw kind of dead with the Exorcist. So maybe I should have dug for a little bit more of a lower curve hand. And maybe really looked for that Preacher. Yeah, because with the Disharmonist and the... Is that the Infractor Obsessionist? It's the one that gives shield when you have Stimulation. I know that much. Don't know the names of these cards. I know what they do. I've not played with EC enough, I guess. But... definitely behind, had a really hard time gaining faith, and we're in a very bad position. Because if he cracks face, what does he have? Is it 8, 3, 11, 15 right now? Go down to 10, and I have to clear. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Go to 9 and I have to clear. My bad. Miscount. It just does not look like a good situation. Ouch. This is the play. It's a good draw by him. Pretty unfortunate for us. And we're in a tight spot. One, two. Getting the damage on here. Going to try and fight for this one. So no board at 3. Out comes the 2 troops. Really only have one play here. Now, I didn't want to proc the stimulation trigger, so that's why I did it this way. I could have targeted him with those flames and cleared both. I did not. Took the route that gave me the most health possible to play with. He is at a low life total himself. Any crackback could be lethal. Ouch. To 1 we go. And unluckily, we get popped off by an Infractor. I definitely think we could have killed on the crackback if he did not find the kill there. So that's pretty good from our opponent. Unfortunate for us. Close game, though. Close game, for sure. Alright, and for this second video, I had actually realized I didn't have enough footage to make a video. So I had to go to class this morning, and then I decided that I would record something and kind of give you a sight as I needed something now. I tried to go back and watch a replay. Apparently it doesn't show the stratagems your opponent casts when you watch a replay, or at least doesn't pop them up right on screen. Maybe I couldn't get the settings right. I don't know. I immediately recognized the name as soon as we hop in here. This is a top 50 player we matched against, so I guess you guys get some good content. We're in the Erica Mirror match. Get used to this. And as you can see, both top 50 players and I both came to the same assessment. Sister Novite, or Little Sister, is really good. We are both playing this card. You'll have to forgive some of the background noises. I decided that after class I was going to go over to my uncle's. Again, all these thoughts come to me in a very mixed fashion, so I didn't realize that I had to record and do a voiceover, so you might hear some trucks in the background like that one. Hopefully that's okay. I'm in town at the moment, but that's fine. We'll see what we can get here. I'll have to say our opening hand is quite good. I really don't like his position. He's probably feeling the pressure, definitely, with the Crusader on the board threatening to kill the Novite if he leaves it. He's not in a good position, definitely behind. I think I'm just noticing how busy the street is. I really didn't think. He lives on like a side street. There's no reason people should be here. It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday. Doesn't anyone sleep in? My lord. Anyway, he's going to give it a prayer, pop out another one. Little Sister brings a friend. He's going to prayer on this one too, gaining 1 faith. We are at a faith deficit. But everything other than that, we're still in a good spot. The double rhino is so threatening. If only we could rip a Sacred Rose off the top. Not quite. We got the Retributor. So, let's see. We're going to make some favorable trades here. Crusader for the pop-off, taking out Little Sister's friend. Down comes the Rhino. Prayer on Little Sister to pop out a friend. And we're going to break the shield here and preserve some of this health. This, putting all these units at 1, makes it to where he either has to trade or he has to cast his stratagem. Doing this forces him to spend 2 energy each turn. It's really hard to manage your energy usage and gain board control when you can't play minions because you have to play your stratagem. He does get the Cleansing Flames there. Good for him. He definitely needed something. Probably needed 2 of them this match. He was in a rough spot for quite a while. Let's see. Right there, sorry for the bricks. I had a friend text me and I didn't want to go back over the video, so I just threw in bricks. I hope that's all right. Let's see. We do draw a Sacred Rose. Twin Sister is going to show up if possible. Let's see what we decide to do here. Definitely behind. We are at a small faith deficit, but I have no doubt we're going to catch up. We just have so many more units on board. He's struggling to keep board control, something you have to do as Erica. Out comes a prayer from both of the Little Sisters, popping out 2 more friends, going to clear off his Novite here. We are praying, so there goes the trigger. Out comes another Sacred Rose Sister. He's feeling the pressure, looking for answers. What are we going to do on 5 energy that's going to solve this situation? What card would he need? Another, Hallowed Martyrs. Talk about it. That's a good one. It's definitely going to be hard for me to manage board control now that everything gets pinged for 1. This is going to be interesting. I will have to trade, then pray in very weird orders in order to make sure none of my minions die. His unit takes damage, therefore the procs come out, gets a kill, and does damage there on the Secret Rose Sister. Looking good for him. Out comes another Little Sister. Moving on. We draw a Preacher. What am I going to do here? So let's see. We're on 6 energy. We're going to trade off this 1 health minion. 2 damage there, trading off our Preacher. Now we've cleared his board. We have a completely empty board. What are the plays we're going to make? So out comes a prayer. Going to put a shield on this unit. we are going to play a Celestian. All right. I'm guessing 2 more prayers, and then maybe a preacher. Oh, gain a faith. Okay. So we're gaining a faith, trying to catch back up on the faith game. Prayer here, put health on the rhino. Want to keep that alive. Another 2 prayers come out. Out come 2 more sister friends. Bunch of little sisters now. Out comes the trigger from the rhino proc. Pumping it up. We're at 3 faith now. We've got the 3/4. Full board. Turn 6. Wow. Talk about pressure. This is what I was talking about. Going wide with sisters. The Novite allows you to create so much pressure. You struggle to find answers. Out comes the Seraphim. Card's deemed good enough for top 50. That's why I'm running it. Knew this card was strong. See what he does. Deciding carefully. Got 2 more energy left to spend. 3 damage on his Warlord talent if he wants it. Decides to make the trade with the Celestian. 3 damage on the Seraphim. Where to from here? I would smack with face. You want the procs. Let's see if he wants the Hollowed Martyr procs and see what he does. He does make the trade. His procs go into a praying unit and a non-praying unit. So we do lose 1 faith here. 3 damage. So he's going to do 1, then an instance of 2 damage to kill the Battle Sister. Or the Sacred Rose Sister. We draw Astrid. Whoa. So I'm going to clear with my face here. I don't want to trade off 2 of the little sisters. I want to keep them alive. We're going to make 1 trade here. Get procs. Trading off the low health minions. Now we're going to trade again. Procs again. Trading off our lowest health minions. From here I'm playing Astrid into double prayer. Maybe triple. Decide not to attack with the rhino. There's a prayer, there's a prayer. Here's a 3rd one. 3 Divine Shields up. Astrid sitting thick and pretty. Maybe could have casted this before. This might have been a slight play mistake. However, I'm just wanting to continue pressure and put his life total lower. I want him to feel as if he's threatened by all these 2 3s coming out with the little sisters. Another proc from the rhino trigger. What's happening here? Oh, there's a bird in the background. I do live in quite the rural area, so... Divine Intervention. Whoa. Low faith DI. Definitely desperate to get rid of the Astrid. Realizes it's a problem. Hits the rhino, looking for the additional procs on the rhino to kill it. Decides to talent himself. Smart play. 2 procs here from Hollowed Martyrs. 1, 2. Doesn't even see the second one. Decides to concede. Wow. Talk about a dominating board state. Going wide with sisters. It's here, folks. You better get used to it because new meta's coming. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys will come back tomorrow. We'll have more content. All right. See you guys later.